Hey guys, this is a mechanic task guide for fertilizers. For this task, you have to locate 5 bundles of wires and 5 capacitors in RAID and then hand them over to mechanic. So in my experience, if you don't already have these items in your stash, then the easiest method of doing this task is to just craft the items in your hideout. Now you can craft the capacitors at the workbench level 1 with 1 PSU and then 1 screwdriver, which will give you 6 capacitors, taking just over 2 hours. And then you can also craft the wires at workbench level 1 by using 2 power cords, which will provide you with 8 wires and takes just under 2 hours. So because you do only need 5 of each item, then it means that 1 completion of each craft will cover you for this task, since the items that are crafted by you in your hideout do get a found in raid status, so they can be either sold on the flea market or handed into the traders in order to count towards tasks that require an item to be found in raid. Now, if you don't want to craft the items for whatever reason, then I will show you guys a route on Interchange that has up to 40 PC blocks for you to loot, which is pretty wild. And since PC blocks are a very common spawn for these 2 items, then I figured it would be helpful if I showed you guys the route that I will oftentimes use when searching for this task. And while you are moving through the mall, then there are also a few tech stores that you can also check for loose tech loot that can include the items that you need. And those tech stores are TechLight, Texo, Rasmussen, and German. And I do have a map on the screen that shows a route that you can choose to follow or implement parts of it into your raids so that you can maximize and also adapt your raids to however they end up taking you. However, for this guide, I am just going to be showing you guys the map of the tech stores and not demonstrating that route, since in the interest of your guys' time, the PC block route and the crafting are much more efficient ways of doing this task. But I just wanted you guys to be able to be aware that the items can spawn in the tech stores as well. So now we will go over the PC block route, and I will be showing you guys most of the main locations where PC blocks can potentially spawn for you to loot, and showing you guys a route that you can implement into your PMC or scav raids. Just keep in mind that with dynamic loot, there is always the chance that a PC that normally spawns into a raid may not be there for you, or you could even potentially have more than usual. So it is always a good idea to check each room that I do show you guys, since it can vary from raid to raid. But as we do go to each room, then I will tell you guys the average number of spawns per location that are typically there. So we are here in Ollie, just at the top of the main entrance stairs, and we are going to veer a little bit to our right, and just on the other side of this wall is an information desk. This is the first of 3 different information desks that are located inside of Ollie, and each one of these different 3 locations does have the potential to spawn 2 different PC blocks inside of here. So after we loot this first information desk, then we are going to jump back out towards the top of the main stairwell. However, we will be going a little bit to the left towards the Ollie offices. But before we go into the Ollie offices, then there are some desks that are on the left-hand side of the door. So typically there is a PC block behind the first and third desk, but in this video there is only one behind the third desk. So as you guys can see, this is already a change with the dynamic loot. So after we check these areas, then we can now head into the Ollie offices area. And then once we go back into the offices hallway, then the first door on your right is going to be the Ollie logistics office, which does have a PC block in there typically, but it is locked. So you will require the Ollie logistics department key in order to go inside. If you don't have the key, then you can just bypass this door and then move on to the next 2 rooms on your right, where both of these rooms typically do have a single PC block inside of each one. So you can check both of those, and neither one of these require a key. So once you check both of those rooms, then we will continue out through the door at the end of the hallway and then veer to the right, where you will see another set of double doors, and then take the first left and then continue through the next 2 doors as well, in order to get to one of the back offices where there is the chance for 3 different PC blocks to spawn back here in this office. And honestly, this room is very rarely ever looted, just because of how far that this office is located out of the way for most things. So typically this will be free loot for you. Once you finish looting inside of here, then we will head back out the same way that we came in, and then you are going to keep right and then head out into the main Ollie store area. And then this is where our second information desk will be located, just directly in front of you. And typically there will be 2 more PC blocks inside of this area. After we loot this second information desk, then we will head out towards the opposite side of Ollie. But once we get to the middle of the store, then we are going to find our third and last information desk, where again you will have the possibility of another 2 PC blocks. After we loot this third and final information desk, then we will head up towards the front of Ollie, past the cash registers and then the photocopy machines, and then take a right, where you will see the escalators as well as 2 sets of double doors at the end. And we want to go through these double doors and then take an immediate right, where you will see another door that you can go through. And then once you go through this door, then you will have a single door on your left that you can open. And then this will lead you to your first of 3 offices located in this back area of Ollie. Inside of this first office, there is usually 3 different PC blocks that can spawn in here. So after you check inside of this office, then we are going to head back out the same way that we came. Instead of going back out into the main Ollie area, then we will take a right and then head down this hallway. Once you get to the end of the hallway, then you are going to take a right, and then you will have another office that's on your right hand side there, where you can open up the door. And then inside of this second office, then typically there is another 3 PC blocks that you can check in here. So after you finish checking the second office, then you are going to head back out into the hallway and then take a right and then go down to the end of this hallway, and the final door on your right will be the third and final location for us to check inside of Ollie, and typically there will be 4 different PC blocks that do spawn inside of here. And like I said, this is the final location inside of Ollie for us to check for the PCs, so now we will be heading to the front of Ollie to head to our next location, or if you end up finding some loot that you don't want to risk losing from any of the 24 PCs that I just showed you, then you can always try and extract at this point also. But as we get to the front of Ollie, then we will be going to the right along the furniture store and then past the escalator down this hallway through the double doors. And then we are going to take a left, and then we are going to want to go into the second door on the right, which is an office that does typically have up to 5 different PC block spawns inside of here. After we end up checking in here, then we will go out the far side of the room and then go through the next set of double doors, which will bring us into the Goshen store. And one way to know that you are inside of the Goshen store is by the big fire that is at the back of the store. And we will be basically bypassing the entirety of Goshen for this guide and going all the way to the opposite side and then through the double doors that are at the far side here, which are going to be located next to the food storage area where you can pick up food if you need to at Goshen. So we are going to be going, like I said, in through the double doors at the far side of Goshen, then in through the first doors that you come to, and then this is the same office where we had to go for the Goshen Cargo Manifest for Database Part 1. Inside of this office, there is typically 4 PC blocks with a 5th PC inside of the separate little office here in the left of this room. And after you end up looting this office's area, then you can head out into the hallway and then turn right and then follow the hallway all the way around until you get to another set of double doors. And then when you go through these double doors, then it will lead you to the front of the Idea store, where basically the only thing in Idea is going to be at the far side, as I showed you guys earlier with the 3 PCs in the far Idea office room, followed by the power station where you can find another 3 PC blocks and possibly take the car extract just past the power switch. Now obviously there is the ability to find these task items on other maps, however I found that Interchange does offer some of the best chances for most tech loot tasks since it does have so many loose tech spawns, as well as a bunch of PC blocks to loot on top of that. So basically you end up doubling your chances. Even if you end up spawning in late as a scav, you will almost always be able to leave with a good amount of loot since there are so many areas that people never bother to check, or basically there's just too much loot for people to take in general, so they end up having to leave loot behind, so basically it's shared between everyone. So hopefully you guys found this task guide useful and it did help you to complete this task. Thank you all for stopping by and watching this video. If you're still here at the end, then I definitely appreciate you and I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day. So what you're seeing on the screen right now is just a couple of my different social links in case you guys wanted to connect more easily. I am primarily streaming on Twitch now multiple nights a week. So if you do want to connect with me or my community, that would probably be the easiest way to do so. And if you do come over to the Twitch and you want to join the Discord community, then just type !Discord or cord in the chat in order to get an invite link. And if you don't use Twitch, then I do have a link in the picture as well as a link below in the description. And we are growing and currently have an active and welcoming community with people of all experience and skill levels. So there will always be someone who could help to answer any questions that you may have. As always, thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching the video, and I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day.